9-2 Graphing rational functions and hyperbolas. There are three different equations used when graphing hyperbolas. The first example is y equals 1 over x. To find the horizontal asymptote for this equation, x always equals 0. To find the vertical asymptote for this equation, y always equals 0. An example of an equation that uses the y equals 1 over x formula is y equals 2 over x. Both of the asymptotes equal 0, the vertical and the horizontal asymptotes. And so what you do is after you have your graph, you draw in the vertical asymptote at 0, and the horizontal asymptote at 0, like we have here. And then you make two x and y tables, one for the right side and one for the left side. Once you've made the x, y tables, you plug in the numbers to the right and the left of your vertical and horizontal asymptotes. So for this side we have 1, 2, 3 for x, and once you plug in the numbers into the equation, you get y equals 2, 1, and 2/3. And for the next xy table, we have to the left -1, -2, and -3. And once we plugged in x into the equation, we got -2, -1, and -2/3. The second example of an equation used to make a hyperbola is y equals a over x minus h plus k. To find the horizontal asymptote for this equation, whatever k is equals the horizontal asymptote. And to find the vertical asymptote, you take whatever the value that makes the denominator 0 is. An example of an equation that uses the y equals a over x minus h plus k formula is y equals 4 over x plus 2 minus 1. To find the vertical asymptote for this equation, you take whatever makes the denominator 0. So in this case, it's -2. For the horizontal asymptote, you take whatever the number k is. So in this case, it's -1. Once you find your horizontal and vertical asymptotes, you draw them in, and then you take the numbers to the right of it and make an xy table, and then take the numbers to the left of it and make an xy table. So for this one, for the left we have -3, -4, -5, and then for the right we have -1, 0, and 1. And then you plug in x into the equation to get the y values of both xy tables. So for our final xy tables, we have -3 and -5, and -4 and -3, -5 and -2 and 1/3. And then for the right, we have -3, or -1 and 3, 0, 1, and 1 and 1/3. And then you take these points and you plug them in, and then you draw the lines and hug the asymptotes on both sides. The last example of an equation used to make a hyperbola is y equals ax plus b over cx plus d. To find the horizontal asymptote for this equation, you take whatever a over c is. To find the vertical asymptote for this equation, you take the value that makes the denominator 0. The last example of an equation used to make a hyperbola is y equals ax plus b over cx plus d. To find the horizontal asymptote for this equation, you take whatever a over c is. To find the vertical asymptote for this equation, you take the value that makes the denominator 0. An example of an equation that uses the ax plus b over cx plus d formula is y equals x plus 2 over x minus 1. To find the vertical asymptote for this equation, you take whatever makes the denominator 0. To find the horizontal asymptote for this equation, you take whatever a over c is. So for both of these, it's 1. Once you find your vertical and horizontal asymptotes, you make an xy table for the right side and the left side. And so for the right side, we have the coordinates as 2, 4, 3 and 5 halves, 4 and 2, and for the left side it's 0 and -2, -1 and -1 half, -2 and 0. And then you plug in the coordinates onto the graph and graph. And when you make your when you make your lines, have them hug the vertical and horizontal asymptote like here to show that it's not crossing the asymptote, but it's going up right next to it.